Hello there. Happy Friday. Today I am going to try and make it through this broadcast, but I have quite the tickle in the throat, so I'm not guaranteeing anything. So I'm going to start fresh by saying it is so ironic and I think synchronistic how the uh, what we have lined up in our life, like we don't even realize it sometimes. Like I write some of these a couple weeks in advance and don't always know at what um like which one's coming up, right? So this week when I went to print out so I can follow along some of the points I wanted to make, the subject matter is about self-care. And as you can tell from my voice, it's been a fun week, and not so fun because I hope none of you get whatever this typhoid Mary thing is, because it comes in quick, hits hard, and I think last night I coughed up my belly button. I really think I did. It's an impressive ab workout. So this week, what was on the docket, and I didn't even consciously realize it, was self-care, and how when we take care of our physical self, our mental self follows suit, and vice versa. So the metaphor that I was using is, those reversible raincoats where on one, like no matter how you wear them, you look pretty snazzy. I don't own one, but I've always thought that they were really cool because you could go by, what's your mood of the day, what you got going on. So I was thinking about them one day. I don't know why these pop in my head, but it's kind of fun that they do. I was thinking about it and I'm like, so if the inside takes care of the outside and the outside takes care of the inside, then you have a good team going, right? So it's a lot like if you if you take care of and you acknowledge your soul process, then your physical process will be much more fun and enlightening. And in the reverse, if you take care of your physical self, that soul process gets to be a lot more fun. So there's a lot of inside out stuff that happens. And I think when we start to think of it that way, we can be more mm, consistent in our self-care. And I'm pretty good at self-care. I mean, I can't do anything about cooties, but I have a good immune system. And I actually talk about manifesting, just said last week that I made it all winter without even a sniffle. Yeah. So I'm a good manifester too. So the physical aspect of your life is, what's around you. When in the particular case that I wanted to talk about was actually moving your butt. And whether that's through working out, dancing, hiking, playing, however it shows up in your world, I think there's been an increase in self-esteem issues and depression and all of that because we just don't move enough. And science will show that when you move and you move your gut, it produces more of the serotonin and the feel good hormones. I'm not going to have a lot of intelligence today, guys, so just hang in there with me. It produces a lot of those and then gets it up into the brain where it can be used, right? So if you're not moving around and you're not getting your energy and your chakras moving, you're not going to have anything that can travel up the conveyor belt to the brain to be used so that you can feel good. And I think the more that we sit around, the more depressed we become. And I know this week alone, normally I work out 5-6 days a week, and I have one in this week. And that was more from stubbornness than actual intelligence. But I'm glad I did because it allows me the self-care that I really need to do right now. Because if I push myself, it's just going to take it further. And I feel like we've gotten lazy And we've gotten too far into our excuse head, and it's too easy to jump in a car instead of walk to the store, or take the elevator instead of running up those stairs. And it doesn't need to be excessive to be successful, but it does need to happen. And I think we're forgetting that we're human beings and that we're meant to move. We're meant to keep active. And I hear so many excuses and so many things that I participated in and can still get into in my own head. And yet I also get to see, like, when somebody feels good about themselves because they've accomplished something. And if I don't care if it's walking to your mailbox and back, but you feel good because you did that and you got your ass moving. And I had somebody text me last week, and she's a coaching client. So when you coach with me, you have access in between sessions. So she had texted me and said she couldn't get out of her head, was just having a really hard time getting out of her head. And we have well, like all of my clients, we have a good working relationship. So to put it succinctly, I sent back, well, then move your ass. If you can't get out of your head, it's because your ass isn't moving. So get it moving so that you can shake off whatever's going on in there. You can have some brilliant ideas come in. And her answer, she walked up the street and bought herself a tea. Great. She moved her ass. I didn't say go out and run a marathon. I didn't say she had to flip tires or anything like that. She just needed to get out of her own way is essentially what it is. And as humans, we're not all that complicated. Yes, we have complicated pasts, but we're not all that complicated. So if you start to think of some of the common sense things, it pays off. So your system will also titrate, and it'll become used to the activity that you've been giving it, and you'll need to kick it up. And then from there also becomes this belief in self that I think is, I haven't found another way to match it, and except to do something that you thought you couldn't do, and you put a little effort into it, and then you're able to do it because you believed in yourself enough to get your butt moving. And just like anything else, when you least want to do it is when you most need to do it, because something in your system is saying, oh no, let's just sit on the couch and feel sorry for ourselves and lament over the fact that that one doesn't like me, or that one croaked, or I got a bad grade there, or how come he didn't text me back yet? Jesus, people have lives, give them lives, give a little space. But if you least feel like doing it and you catch yourself in those moments of the poor me, get poor me moving. And then your system will eventually desire it so much that it feels weird not to. It took everything I had not to go for a 4-mile run yesterday, because that was on my training plan for the 50K. And it took years of practice in the self-care aspect of being able to say, excuse me, of being able to say, that's not going to serve you. You need to go easy. Go lay on that acupuncture table for 2 hours. Ryan Less, New England Acupuncture, 1450 East Street. He's just amazing. He's why I'm upright. Yesterday was new. It was that horizontal wasn't happening, although the voice was impressive. I could have done an exorcism voice like you would not believe. I wanted to prank phone call people, but I thought I'd get laughing and then coughing, and then it just wouldn't work. So this is like 1,000% improvement over yesterday. So that could be part of the self-care. Get your butt moving to someone else who knows more, and can give you amazing Chinese herbs that, all right, they taste like dirt, but they work really well. So the process of paying attention to the physical self in order to move through anything that's going through emotionally, mentally, sometimes even if you can't work out a problem, like maybe you're working on your business plan and you can't figure out what the next step would be, well, get up out of your chair, move, go get a drink of water, Don't drink that other stuff, water, or walk around outside. We've had some beautiful days here this week. I swear, I don't think the world revolves around me, but I was having major run envy yesterday when I saw people running by, and I was like, I wouldn't even make it a tenth of a mile at this point. So, when you're combining the two aspects, the external and the internal, the physical and the eternal, so talking to that soul, let your soul move you forward, let it get you feel, help you to feel inspired to do something. If you need to set a goal, set a goal. If you're just getting moving, the Couch to 5K program is wonderful, as well as this amazing gym I know if you're locally in Lee, Souls Fitness. So when you combine all of those aspects, when you allow yourself to remember that you're physical and you are non-physical, and you get both of those working together, then in the physical element, you will enjoy a greater love of life, a greater amount of energy, and you'll allow the universal energies that are flowing everywhere to work through you and to kind of cleanse you and charge you and everything. So we have to find that balance, right? So that and be reminded sometimes that we're not just here to accomplish, to get things done, to check things off a list, to say, okay, got up, did this, went to bed, slept, got up, did this, went to bed, slept. That's not why we're here. And I truly believe that we're here to learn and to love and lead so that we can help others when they're feeling like they want to hang back in the back of the pack for a little bit. So I happen to be a back of the pack runner. It's a lot of fun back there. We laugh a lot. So I'm wondering if you need to do this for yourself. And you don't have to wait till the first of a month or the first of the year or your birthday or anything like that. What intention do you want to set today to get your butt moving, to be active in a way that is filling you up? So if you have a very physical job, it can be easy to say, well, I moved all day long. I didn't sit in one spot. Perhaps, but did you get your heart rate up? Were you praying to the deities that you were going to make it through the workout? Were you able to kind of pray that your trainer can't remember how to count to 15, and then he can only remember how to count to 8, and then he actually does it accurately? Like, if you have those moments, you're working your butt. And I think if more people got back into this, because we used to walk to work, we used to walk to school, we used to have the gardens and all this stuff. Our physical bodies don't understand why they're being carted everywhere. So when you are moving and you're making contact with the ground, you are reaffirming to your physical body that it is here and that it is capable. And yeah, it's really cool when you develop the muscles and when you see your body start to change and you feel powerful, and that translates to a physical sense of feeling powerful as well. So, a mental sense of feeling powerful as well. So this week, you got to give yourself some spring kick in the choochie boomy, and get that energy moving. I don't give a flying you-know-what about bathing suit season. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you genuinely liking yourself and supporting your mental health and your spiritual vitality comes through physical activity. And I may not always love, and Josh can attest to this, I do not like hills. Don't like them. I like that they exist. They're fun. I don't like running up them. I don't like holding a ball and running up them. I don't like going up and tagging a fence and running up and down. But that time when you hit the third or fourth one, and then you haven't died, you start to feel like, all right, I got this and I can build on this. We are eternal. You are always building on your soul level, on your human level, and on that cognitive level. So the physical and the cognitive and the conscious all need to work together. And the commitment to self is what really matters, not what you do. The fact that you actually said you were going to do something and you did it. If restorative yoga is what reboots your butt, we'll get your butt to restorative yoga. Appy, can't laugh. If I start laughing, I'll start coughing. Nike app is a free app, and it has some of the greatest teachers on there and classes, everything from 5 minutes up to 45 minutes. So there's really no excuse, because I'm assuming you all have a floor in your home and that you could turn on the Nike app, because if you're logging in here, you have the access to the internet. So that's something that you could do if you're feeling like you just don't want to be somewhere where someone else can see you flop on the floor. Although I would suggest going to a mixed class, because you learn so much from other people. And there have been times where I've been in my own judgy head and thought, oh, geez, they're going to do a better job than I am. Not that it matters, but our heads go there. And then I end up kicking butt, and the person I thought was so fit is sucking wind. And I want for them to do their workout, but there is something about being in a group setting to realize other people struggle too. And other people have problems with things that you don't. I love battle ropes, but some of the up and down movements, I get very winded. And it's easy carting this chest around, So I get very winded, and then I feel like I'm not doing a good job. So it's good to experience and to look around. So in that, maybe you need to reach out. Maybe there's a contra line dancing class. I don't know if I said that right, but contra dancing. Maybe line's not in there. Maybe line dancing and contra dancing are two different things. But maybe there's that you would like to go to, or get into the hiking scene. We happen to have the best trails in New England for working on that elevation. And I'll get that heart rate up there. You have to get your heart rate up, because that reminds you that you're alive. And then that helps you kick ass when you have a presentation. And that helps you ask a person out when you're so nervous. And whatever else there might be, go for that business idea. Or sign up for that ridiculously long race in June, and don't worry so much that you're sick the first week of training, that you'll make up for it and you'll be fine, because the conditioning is there. The body just needs to rest. So yes, that was a message to myself. So I'm hoping you hear it for yourself later on. Getting to the point where I'm going to start coughing. So I'm going to sign off, say, I hope you all take care of yourself and merge the two. Like, start seeing this physical stuff as more than your body and more than judgment of what it doesn't do. See it as your way to connect to your soul. See it as a way to connect to that first sense, that intuitive self that knows it wants to move and groove. And see it as a way to give back to yourself, to, body in motion stays in motion. So see it as a way to create that reciprocal relationship, so that you look snazzy on the outside with your two-sided raincoat, and you flip it and you look just as snazzy on the other side. So this week, put it on the list. Message me what you're doing to increase the physical activity. Josh, don't you dare message me and tell me you're increasing the physical activity, because we just can't live up to it. All right, dude. Reese Fit Foods, they're what keep me alive during the week as well. And Josh teaches one of the best spin classes, truly. And I used to teach, and I thought my classes were hard. Josh teaches just the best, well-rounded, most fun, and you will sweat class at Souls. So when you support the outer, it supports the inner. When you support the inner, it supports the outer. So very reciprocal thing we got going on here. So I'm going to go drink some tea before my next one and hopefully return to you next week sounding a little bit more normal. I hope you are well. Wash your hands, be safe, drink lots of water, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. And it doesn't want to end.